welcome back to Founder Focus with Globe. I'm your host Sunlight, and today I'm delighted to welcome onto the show Conan Yu, co-founder at Rena Labs. So watch on to find out about what trusted execution environments are and their exciting use cases and what they're building at Rena Labs. So enjoy. So welcome to the show, Conan. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I was waking up early and having some was different time zones colleagues. Yeah.
Oh, of course. But that's just standard in crypto though, no? Because it's such a worldwide thing. So
Yeah. Remote working, from different time zones. Yeah, pretty standard in crypto. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So, would you like to tell us a bit about your background and your journey into Web3?
Yeah, definitely. So, I'm currently a college dropout. I was studying computer science and philosophy when I was in college, and then I started funding Rena since last year April. And even before Rena, I was doing my first startup when I was in high school. It was like in a more of like Web2-ish social educational application, and I sold the startup like when I was in high school. So even earlier, I got to know crypto in 2013. That was like still in my middle school. Yeah, so it was like the Bitcoin white paper was one of the materials that the teacher gave us as like a learning material where I got to know Bitcoin, and I was also contributing to the Bitcoin.org website that time. That was an initial touch with crypto. But I officially built in crypto was after 2021, where I saw the non-fungible token NFTs getting really popular, and we see a lot of like interesting use case. Because at that point in time, I'm particularly interested about the like social applications. So I was thinking of like how we can build up some NFT based social uh, decentralized application, DID, decentralized ID, etc. Um, and also by that point of time where I learned a lot of like new infrastructure technologies. I mean, at the school and from the industry, zero knowledge proof, FHE, MPC, TE, which is what I'm working on right now. TE stand for Trust Execution Environment. And I do see this technology as not new technology, but like being like really underappreciated. And there's a lot of use case because like I'm the kind of person that using true technology to bring into the practical use cases where where the clients are actually would love to use because of their pain points, their true demands. And that's where drives me from where I am right now, which is Rena Labs. Yeah.
Amazing. So to give a little more background on Rena Labs then, so you said, trusted execution environments are what you're working on right now at Rena. So could you
Yeah.
give a bit more depth into that? First of all, what are they and what are the most like exciting use cases for it?
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, before diving deeper, I'm just curious, is there first time hearing this word, trust execution environment, or you heard this before?
For me, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm so glad I get this word to like new person. Yeah. So like the trust execution environment, I bet you definitely heard about ZK or MPC, this kind of cryptography stuff, right? That's more privacy enhancing technology focused. So the trust execution environment is also in the same category, but it is more hardware based. So typically it's a CPU, but it can also in a GPU miner. And it's like an isolated memory. What I typically describe to people is you can imagine it as like a black box where with more than two party and for example, you can put your secret information into this box and you can have like a model to interact with this secret information inside this black box without knowing by anyone, any party, or even the system itself. And the whole execution process, the integrity of this process is verifiable. Um, yeah. So what Rana's building on top of that is what do we call is the trust execution environment abstraction stacks where we provide easier dev kit low code SDK API tools specifically to use case workflows like AT agents and data model orchestration inference training or yeah, like a lot of other kind of like crypto driven use case like dark pool, MEV solution, etc. Yeah, so this is like what we are mainly focusing on. It just goes back to the TE topic. Like a better way for you to get a sense of like what this technology are actually in your life is if you're using iPhone and you open your iPhone with your facial recognition, and this action of facial recognition where scan your face and capture your like facial biometric features. This kind of like small actions done through the TE small chip on your phone called TE Enclave. But that's like super small. And what we do is like more remote CPU cluster, etc. Yeah, that's basically what TEs are and what's Rena's building about. Yeah.
Amazing. So actually, to use your example of Face ID, so you said it's a very small enclave, you said. Does it need a separate one for each function?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So it's typically the enclave is like so on our phone is like small piece of like a chip. But typically what we refer to enclave is like an CPU isolated memory. So and for each instance you can run different purpose-driven actions, executions. And it's more generalized kind of hardware where it can serve for different demand. But like definitely that's where you need to program the web service inside this enclave to achieve your goal. For example, you want to orchestrate the private data in the model, or you want to orchestrate the agent program with sensitive login credentials, etc. Yeah, so this is really use case driven. That is where it's currently fitting into what we're building because the technology itself is good, but like we want to lower the barrier to entry for more early stage startups, developers, or even those B2B giant business. Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. So it sounds like one of the core values at Rena
Yeah.
is security, right? So out of the trifecta, would you place security as the most important?
Um, I mean, security is always important in every aspect, either in crypto or AI. So I would say security is always underneath, and it's something that we care the most, and we have like multiple approach to make sure the security is good. For example, like the technology itself is technically verifiable, in terms of integrity and the security measures, and we also adopting a lot of other cryptography techniques to ensure all the security is safely guarded. For example, the TE solution has some being dotted with like side channel attacks, and we are currently adding the design of like oblivious RAM, which is like adding additional you can simply understand as adding additional security on top of that. Um, and we were also working with third party to test on the security, doing like some security penetration test. Yeah. But going back to what you just said, I think the core focus that we are driving forward is more on the privacy, where we think in the last 10 years, private computational privacy is typically ignored by the users and a lot of startups, and but there are strong regulations. But in the next 10 years, with the quick growing of the AI and getting into post AGI era, where we see we see three key factors. One is GPU, those computation resources. One is large language models, the foundational models, and the third is data. And we see the GPU cost been decreasing, and large language model with the emergence of DeepSeek, ChatGPT has also been much lower barriers for the developer to entry, but only data. Because the acquisition of the high quality data is still a barrier for most retail developers, for a lot of like middle stage, early stage startups, and the public data has been exploited for training those large language models or small proprietary ML models. So how can we unlock the huge value of those private data, which were initially legally impossible? And now with this privacy enhancing technology, we make this private data liquidity unlocked into a larger scale. And the most of the private data are really proprietary data driven. Which we believe would drive the large emergence of native AI applications, interesting AI use cases, etc. Yeah.
Okay, so, and when you talk about this data, kind of, for lack of a better word, farming, so who will receive this data? Like, can like me or someone else just off the street just get all my data for myself,
No,
or
no. So I'll give you a simple example of like one of our in-house kind of use case. You use Telegram, right? And like all your Telegram chat history would be your private data. And you don't want to share all this content to anyone else. We don't know what there has. And there might be some sensitive information, or at least there's like a lot of like your business information or your contacts, connection, etc. But I got like thousands of messages a week. I really want to have like someone or like an AI agent help me to handling over a lot of messages to help me be more productive. But if I'm using a third party agent, meaning that they gonna access to all of my chat history, am I gonna trust them? And the way how we're gonna deal with this is my Telegram, like all those chat, I will use a third-party agent to delegate my account by sharing my login credentials, my ID and password. But the sharing of this login credentials is encrypted on your client side. And then the encrypt data is shared to the enclave, which is black box, to orchestrate with the agent program. And once the agent access into your browser, Telegram, and access into your chat history, training based on historical data, and then agents start working. And all this private data is also happen in a T enclave. So meaning that those private data would be scrapped from your client end, and this data would be encrypted on your client end. Still, like the raw data is always on your client end. And when the data is transmitted, the encrypted data is transmitted to the enclave to orchestrate with the model. And when the training happened, the even the encrypt data would be deleted in that isolated memory. So there's no leakage or actual leave over of your raw data, and it's all we got is like a post-trained model and agent with like a selected memory base and serving your purpose of like replying messages personalized tailored towards like what I typically reply with people, and with my knowledge base of my startup, with my knowledge base of how I manage different connections in what team, in what time, and in what manner of speaking with people, etc. Yeah.
amazing, thank you. So Rena hasn't launched yet, has it? So
Yeah, so we have like a B2B integration kit that currently open to our clients. So we haven't publicly open it, but we're gonna open up the Gitbook next month. And we also have the retail agent product, just the T agent. I was mentioning about the Telegram agent. So the agent framework is compatible with multi-platform and multimodal compatible. What I mean by multi-platform is the agent can delegate your actions on Twitter, on Telegram, on Slack, on TikTok, on Instagram, etc. So can be an information aggregator and also social content creation creator. And all this information are processed in a private enclave, and the agent would have the capability to generate, for example, on TikTok, by learning your historical videos, would be able to generate same face videos like talking about different things, so acting like by generating those videos, images, emojis, a lot of other functionality. So this product is currently undergoing internal testing. We are expecting to launch it in early April as well. Yeah.
Music, so not long now then. How
Yeah.
exciting. Well, good luck
Yeah.
with that.
Thank you.
So, what are the most pressing issues with AI right now, and what direction do you hope to see it going within the next 5 years?
Yeah, so I think the most pressing issue with AI right now is like from my personal perspective is around data. Um like people are demanding for high quality data, and user are caring about their I mean user doesn't care that much unless their private data get like leaked or violated. But like to some extent the government or regulators would care, they will help user to care about their data privacy, and that's where they set a lot of policies, regulations. So this is especially strict in European regions and in Asian countries, and how we can get this data liquidable, like between the different AI models for training, for inference, getting better user experience, which serving as a critical point for the actual AI adoption, like those AI application layers. Um, because like for the AI applications, we also the users are also kind of expecting the initial ChatGPT moment for those AI applications involving in their real life actions. Um, and yeah, so I would see like the most pricing issue is how we can get the high quality data being like in a low barrier and like to entry for the large incoming developers. Yeah.
So, don't you think that's kind of already happening with like, you know, DeepSeek as opposed to Chat GPT? Like, don't you think the kind of barriers to entry are somewhat lowered because of that?
Yeah, so the barrier to entry is definitely much lower after like those starting like from ChatGPT, they have their API service. And most importantly, starting from Llama open source large language model, and from DeepSeek open source large language model, where people can also deploy the model locally on their server and GPU resources. Um, and but actually, I heard from a lot of like developers, but and we had a similar feeling is the emergence of DeepSeek actually increase the demand for GPU because that requires more like this is like a stronger model, right? And it requires more GPU resources. You're gonna buy more GPUs to support when you're running locally. And the DeepSeek service that the team's providing right now is um often done because there are just too many requests every day, every minute, every second. So that comes to like the GPU problems. But from my perspective, the GPU problems has been the problem has been alleviated much better like in the past year. Imagine a year ago, Nvidia, they're we just it's just like kind of impossible to purchase like Nvidia's H100 chips. But right now, you can buy these chips like through multiple channels at a different pricing. So we see the market dynamic, and we also see there's increasing competition like between different manufacturers. So AMD is also providing a lot of really good chips, and there's also teams working on distributed GPU renting like service and edge computing and computation optimization through quantum computation. yeah, a lot of like approaches are trying to lower the barriers of like for the GPU resources, and we do see a significant improvement on this aspect. Yeah, but uh regardless of like how many GPUs we have or how strong the large language model we have, if we don't have like proprietary data, we won't be able to have really user user experience maximized application sets, a new paradigm of the Instagram, a new paradigm of the like kind of WhatsApp, the social app platforms, or new paradigm like the YouTube, Netflix, wholly AI native designed, and those agents for productivity, like your agent assistant, or even in the future, imagine like there's an agent editor will help you to cut the videos that we're recording right now. Yeah, so all this require more data in the sake of the precision and the proprietary of the model. Yeah.
Thank you. Right. I mean, so we talked about, issues with AI and everything, but could you describe any like challenges you're facing with building Renner at the moment and how you're solving them?
Yeah, so I think the major challenges that we're facing right now, especially on the B2B end, is the compliance issue with certain regions. So when we are communicating with some customers from like Asian countries like Japan or China, or we communicating with some company like some I mean some companies from some verticals like banking or healthcare, um, they're still kind of a little bit hesitant about data sharing, like in a privacy preserved manner. As long as they think their data, those sensitive data leaves their data center, it's not secure, and they're gonna take the responsibility and the risks of data leakage. So uh, and like how we are gonna, working with those policymakers, those regulators to implement this kind of like new technology while kind of reduce the concerns, not just on the technical level, but also on the like legal level for those business owners, startup founders, is super critical for us. So meaning that the user education, not just to B, but also to C, by raising the mindshare and awareness of towards this technology and the privacy enhancing tools, is also critical and important. Like getting user realize, for example, like the Telegram agent thing, if users proactively opt in, sharing their private data, like in this privacy preserved manner, and they realistically realize, okay, I'm using this kind of like a privacy middlewares like to secure all my sensitive information. There might be some like I mean some pictures or like some private keys, and like I will text on the Telegram, but that's all secure. Yeah, another use case, I guess the entry point that Rena is currently driving ourselves forward is taking crypto as like an entry point and using blockchain as an underneath technology to kind of deregulate, to make a lot of regulation issue less concerned. For example, for some data measures that we will getting the data as metadata, like a transaction blockchain, so the decentralized sequencer. So that like largely to avoid a lot of like regulation issues. And also we've tried a lot of crypto scenario use case. For example, we see the rising of the meme coin, where people demanding for those trading bots, copy trading bots. While you're using this bot service, they're creating a custody wallet for you where the developer are accessing to your private key through this bots. So imagining that you're putting millions dollars in a wallet, or like 100K dollars in a wallet, USDT in a wallet, and then the private key is holding by someone else at the same time. A lot of people just feel insecure, and the incidents did happen. There like Dex X events, people are suspecting if it's because of the team's internal bad actors causing the leak, causing the hacking incident of this like $100 million loss. Yeah, so the TE providing like an alternative and a better secure solution where the private key and the bots are orchestrated in the black box. So the private key is never exposed to any party besides the user themselves. This also provided like this kind of also give us like the new possibilities of like uh the 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 coordination between different parties. Like how can we make it more trustless? Nothing need to be trust assumed. Yeah.
Amazing, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it feels like whenever there's new technology coming out or something that, the public's not completely like clued up on, such as the TEs, right? So, I mean, how are you going to educate the people on the importance of using these when, for example, okay, to play devil's advocate, it's like, for example, on WhatsApp, they always say, oh, everything's done like end-to-end encryption. Do I know what that means? No. Do I
Yeah.
know that my, data is
Yeah, I
secure?
got you. Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So it does seem like an uphill battle, like with the education side as well. So how are you kind of, going to go about that?
Yeah, definitely. So, the user education part is also like I would describe as one of our challenge. And we are pushing this forward. The measures that we are adopting right now is on the major social media platforms like on Twitter, Discord, linking. We were introducing something called like uh Ronaldo class 101. So it's like using like a cartoon um format, giving people some impression towards like how the T works, and it's actually working right now or in your life every time, like your iPhone, your iPod intelligence, how the some partially of your data stored in Amazon works through that logic, and how agents or trading bot you're using can potentially be secured through this technology. And that requires a lot of work and requires a lot of like dedicated loyalty community to help you to spread it. So building a strong community is also important for us to getting this adopted. I mean, you heard about ZK, and you know ZK is a privacy technology, but you probably like for a lot of users they probably don't know what exactly ZK is in terms of technical workflows and its cryptography design. But they just know ZK is for privacy and ZK is secure. And when something using ZK, I think it's privacy preserved. So it's a default mindset. And something that we're leading towards is we're also kind of wanna creating this kind of like a mindset like in a user impression where T is also something privacy enhancing and secure, being securing a lot of things already, and it will be securing a lot of things in the future with greater potential. And this is the 2C efforts. But like most importantly that what we need to take responsibility along with those policymakers and with those startup business owners, how we can enforce this technology happening by default. And we also have third party auditing our technology to have like multiple approach to disclose to policymakers, to regulators, to funders, to the community that no one's accessing or exposing on it. Yeah.
That's amazing, thank you. And you touched a little bit about the ecosystem. So could you tell us like who's in the Rena Labs ecosystem and community right now?
Yeah, so we working with a lot of like blockchain partners like Movement, Initial, um yeah, and there are also some interesting use cases that we have explored and building our ecosystem. For example, there's like an vaping device, uh vape. So like
I
that
saw
vape
on your
has,
page today.
yeah, so
That was
like
hilarious.
yeah, the but I it was actually like in a practical use case because like people who vape they it's like their addictive action, and then if you purchase your vape and there's like a screen and sensor on this vape every time you vape it's collecting your biometric data, and how the team's also providing some healthcare analysis service and working with the third party healthcare institutions like doing some analysis on this vaping like vaping's effects on harming people's health, etc. So like this kind of private data or so like biometric data kind of need to process in the T environment. And there's another interesting also like in a deeping device building on Solana is called GenPulse. So they're kind of like they kind of like a device where it can scan your hair and when scan your hair and the skin on your hair, like on your head, and it will collecting those the still is like biometric data, related to the skin and hair, and they'll getting this data into like analysis report of your hair quality and hair caring plans. And this kind of like biometric data is more valuable than just providing this basic analysis. There's can further evolving into some disease analysis involving into some, for like on a business level, working with those like shampoo companies and brand companies like to develop some new hair caring chemistry relevant products. So the data are super valuable. How we can transmit data and make this two party or multiple party coordinate on this data legally and privacy preserved is super important using our protocol. Yeah, yeah, a lot of like other interesting use case. Oh, okay. Also, there like something interesting is there's like like we have an in-house use case about market making. So we see like a lot of crypto projects. They will be listing the token on centralized exchanges, and when they list their token on centralized exchanges, they're kind of they need to work with crypto market makers, and you never know if the market maker is doing any abnormal activities such as front running on your token. So it's like opaque process. Where we help this process being verifiable is we get the market makers their market making API key to encrypt on their end, and the encrypt API key send it into the enclave, the black box to orchestrate the detection model and visualize the action to the funders, so they will have the better sense of if my market maker is adding in a decent manner on my token, or otherwise I will just like change a market maker or report their abnormal actions to the community that I'm not dumping the token, it's market maker's own action, something like that. But the whole process is privacy preserved while verifiable. Yeah,
Yeah, that's amazing that there's so many use cases for it. But yeah,
yeah.
so tell me, what is the kind of roadmap of Rena like for the rest of the year?
Yeah. So like honestly speaking, that we only have like super short-term plan and long-term plan like more than a year. So like because like crypto's changing so fast, I don't know what will happen in the next several months. So in the next 2 months, we'll be focusing on pushing our Tau T agent product, where I mentioned earlier, wanna further increasing the mind share of the users using T relevant applications products. They'll realistically realize, okay, this is a T secured I want to this word or even just as a buzzword level to increase the frequency of the visibility around the users. And so we'll be releasing this product in early April, and we'll keep long-term wise that we'll keep our B2B integrations getting more interesting partners. We have middle stage startups, early stage startups working with us, and we have ongoing conversation with those companies already listed on like Nasdaq or already raised more than $1 billion, and yeah, so the ongoing conversation with those startups like or the company are we need to keep that going, and But like those are more like Web2 deals and took longer than we expected. Probably took like a year and a half or even longer to close a deal. So we will keep that traction going. And also all the clients, like regardless of crypto or it's Web2, we are like it's all blockchain technology underneath. So meaning they're using the blockchain and having transactions by default, like without without a specific consciousness, and pretty much catering with different developer preference on different blockchains. Could be EVM like Ethereum, which is a bit expensive. We also make it compatible with like Move, Sui, Aptos, Movement. Can also be Cosmos chains. So pretty much catering with different developer preferences there. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching this episode. And if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to give us a like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much, Conan, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Yeah, thank you. Take care. Bye.